What's up, YouTube? Good morning to everybody who is currently watching this video, and if it is in the afternoon, then I am sorry for the late upload, but good afternoon to you too. A lot of people are asking me to talk more in my videos, so that's exactly what I'm going to be doing, at least what I'm going to be trying to do. I am an immersed type of gamer, which means that it is really hard for me to talk and play at the same time, but I will try to do my best. To explain what's going on here, this is Trapper, and in the last video I uploaded, I was basically testing out Trapper's buffs. Unfortunately, I didn't say anything much in the video until close to the end of the video, and it was a little bit of a difficulty, just trying to talk and focus at the same time. I wanted to talk so much during the video, and I just didn't because I was just so focused on chasing survivors and setting traps down. But in this video, I will be talking a whole lot more, and at least I'm going to be trying. So now that he got a pretty good buff, we're going to talk about it. Iridescent Stone add-on is now changed to every 30 seconds. One random closed bear trap on the map will set itself. And his bloody coil, when a survivor sabotages or disarms a trap, and if that survivor is healthy, the coil exacts their price on that survivor, and that survivor becomes injured. Basically meaning every time a survivor decides that they're going to touch my trap to disarm it or sabotage it, they immediately become injured. This is really helpful for Trapper because, like I said, most of the time before the update, you had to walk around the map manually picking up traps and setting them, giving survivors way more time to gen rush you. In a game where 5 gens can get done pretty fast, especially if you're running toolboxes and brand new parts, that's not a lot of time. Trapper had the most pressure on him as a killer because of this. So now that his traps can set themselves at random, thanks to the new Iridescent Stone, and the bloody coil can injure them even when I'm nowhere near the trap, and they decide that they're going to disarm the trap, this is going to be pretty good. This means that most of the time I'm only going to want to set like 4, maybe 5 traps on the map, and then leave. Now, the hardest thing about playing Trapper is honestly the maps. The Memorial Institute and the game map are kind of not the best maps for Trapper's traps. They're obvious, you can see them, there's no places to really hide them, and you can put them at like vaults and areas, I guess, areas where you could like vault through a windowsill or something, but it's hard. It's still hard. Like, survivors are more than likely to just catch that head on and just pop the trap anyway. But on bigger maps, Trapper shines the most. So let's get ourselves a game session and actually see what we can do with Trapper thanks to his new update. And we are on the Pale Rose Backwater Swamp. Alright, so just like I do with most of my killers, I'm just gonna walk around the map, set some traps. My Hex Ruin is all the way on the opposite side of the map. They're probably gonna find that before I honestly even find a survivor. A really good rule to take in with Trapper is never set a trap in the same place twice. Never. Bad idea. Don't worry, we're not actually going to chase that survivor. We just want to swat them away from the generator. Slow down their progress and at the same time set our traps. This is how you play Trapper. Swap them away from the generator. Move on forward. So most of my traps on the map should be set. So now all we gotta do is just start chasing survivors, honestly. This is the hide and go seek game that everybody has to play, apparently. The only problem is, like, I feel like there's not enough traps. I should have like 2 or 3 more traps. You didn't run to anybody to heal you? Jesus. And just like that, we got another survivor injured who decided to pop one of my also obvious traps. You know, I'm not worried about it because they injured themselves. We're gonna move away from this hook. We don't want to camp or tunnel. Every killer's beloved strategy. We don't do that, my friends. We give everybody a chance to play. Like I said, never set a trap in the same area twice. Nope. Nothing over there. Nobody over here. Unknown. Nobody's on the boat because I was already up there. Nobody touched this already. The hex is still right there. Their progress is pretty slow for survivors. We're gonna pretend like we didn't see her. Always got to break down the pallets. If you don't respect the pallets and just break them down, you will get looped. I mean, honestly, you know what? We're not going to entertain that chase, actually. I'm just going to grab this strap up real quick. They finally found my hex ruin. So we got 1 hook and hex ruin. Alright, so where did you run off to? Oh, there you are. The loops on this map are insane. Alright, that is just annoying. Oh, you're in the basement. Alright. Let's ignore this pallet. Wow, like they instantly disconnected only because of what? I smacked them like twice? Really? I didn't think we were going to be that childish. I didn't even tunnel her or anything like that. Alright, so we know the survivor ran in this direction. I'm going to check around here. I don't see anything. Alright, yeah, just walk away. Oh, hi Mia. The funniest part is that she's my obsession. Which means that she probably has D-strike. Which means she's gonna get a random skill check to jump off of my shoulder. Who's on this generator right here? Leave it! Oh, wow. Alright. Okay, well, they just handed me the game for no apparent reason. That was lovely. Agitation will cover this one. Agitation says that I transport bodies to the hook like 15 or 20% faster, so basically I just walk faster when I gotta survive. What the? Oh, she got herself off of the hook. Wow. I hear you. Okay, so one of the survivors got up because they had a perk called Unbreakable. Now she's dead on hook the next time she gets taken off of the hook. Alright, that generator is dead. If I see the Claudette, I'm gonna walk past her because I did just hook her like twice. Honestly, it's not even my fault. But, you know, I don't want to tunnel her, so. I'm looking for the Nia, though. Nobody over here. Alright, time to gen hop. One, two, three, four. Okay, so they're all near each other. Wow, it was the Claudette. I'm not about to entertain that. Like I said, I'm letting her go that one time. You know, it's not for any farming purposes. It's just to give people a chance to play the game. You know, like I play Survivor, I know what it's like. Nobody's over there. I'm just gonna keep coming back to this generator. Find another one. See, that one is always within eye shot, so I'm not really worried about that one. It just had to be Claudette, didn't it? Alright, there we go. There we go. A little tip whenever you're playing killer is if you are worried that a survivor might possibly have a flashlight, always face a wall when you pick up a survivor. Always. It is a big help. Like, why don't they find one of the other generators? Like, stop it. Leave this generator alone. They're not making it their mission to find other generators. They're just trying to get that one done. You know what I mean? Oh, we got two dead on hook. What were you thinking there? Like, you thought that I wasn't gonna hit you through your sprint burst? It's not like dead hard. Well, the minute I catch Claudette, she's gonna die, unfortunately. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no, you're going to the basement. I don't want to use up one of my hooks up there, killing you. And like I said before, you know, #1 rule, never set a trap in the same place twice. Of course they want to leave it alone. Like, they really just don't want to leave it alone. Like, blame me for camping this gen, but there's 4 other gens on the map, like, or 3 other gens on the map. Look at it. Found her. Now, guys, keep in mind, like, a lot of people who watch this video can say that it was either because I was camping that gen or, you know, something, but you have to see from my point of view. They're not giving me a reason to leave that gen because they haven't left it alone. They didn't go to search out other gens. They literally didn't. So they brought this upon themselves. They really did. For trap setting points, we're gonna set a trap. Alright, so the other survivors should have fell off by now. Yeah, they should have fell off and tried to crawl away. I knew that. They weren't gonna get far. And with that, that's a GG, a 4-man. Now, the main reason that these survivors lost is because one of their own rage quit in the middle of a chase. I didn't tunnel that Kate at all. I didn't even hook her. I chased her like twice. I chased her once, I came to a gen, found her at the gen, chased her again. That's all I did. But that doesn't necessarily mean that she had the rage quit, but she lost out on a lot of points, so, you know, whatever. And then they wouldn't leave that second gen alone. Like, that second to last gen, they just would not leave alone. And then why do the gen directly next to it? If you want to split the killer's attention so that at least one survivor can get a generator done, you have to go to the opposite side of the map, or where the furthest gen is from the killer and the other survivor, and do that generator. Yes, you guys are split up, but in a situation where there's 2 people versus the killer, where there's 2 survivors left in the game session versus the killer, both survivors want to split up and stay completely away from each other. That way the killer doesn't catch them both at the same time. So I literally only abused all of the mistakes that the other survivors made. That's all I did this game. And no camping, no tunneling. I saw the Claudette, like I said, no tunneling, I let her go. And she still stayed around the same area of that gen. It was staying around the area of that gen that got her killed. But anyway, we're going to talk about her perks. Brutal strength, just like in the last video, brutal strength. I kick down generators and barricades 20% faster. Hex ruin. All survivors are affected. Good skill checks result in 5% regression on the generator, and great skill checks grant a 0% bonus progression on the generator. So when you're doing a generator, it is basically an action base. You hold R1 while you're doing the generator, and there's a repair bar that fills up at the bottom of your screen. Throughout the entire time you're doing generators, you hit these things called skill checks. where between one line and another, you just have to click L1 and hit the skill check somewhere in between that line. The problem is that there's a small, like, little narrow section of this line, like within these two big lines, there's like a narrow white section that you can hit a skill check in and get a great or perfect skill check. When Hex Ruin comes into play, every skill check you hit actually regresses the generator that you're doing, meaning that you don't make any progress on it at all. The only way to make progress is to hit a great skill check. That way there's 0% regression or 0% progression, however you want to look at it. Basically, the generator doesn't regress or progress extra from the great skill check, which means that the regular repair speed of the generator is actually making progress. But I'll put up Hex Ruin, slow them down. Unnerving Presence is a great combo with Hex Ruin. It makes skill checks smaller, and it makes it a little bit easier on a lot of the survivors to hit these great skill checks. Why do you want to make the game easier for other survivors? Well, like I said, I want everybody to get points and get a fair game. So in my terror radius, yes, they have a greater chance of triggering skill checks when repairing, healing, or sabotaging, and the success zones of a skill check are reduced by 60%. If a survivor is bad at hitting skill checks, then they're going to mess up a lot on generators, and you will see that commonly throughout the video.